folks. I, as far as I know, am live. And I'm waiting on the rest of y'all to show up. Okay. And now, like I normally do on a Thursday night when I am the first to arrive, is get everything in tune. Hello. You are- huh. How's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing good. So, you are first to arrive.
I just figured out how to install Zoom.
Aha.
We'll see who else figures it out.
Yep. What I've been finding interesting is the number of people who elsewhere have been doing sessions via Zoom
Hmm.
and such. So, I don't know if you've caught other people doing that yet.
I know some people have been. I think most of the people I know have just been doing pre recorded stuff and not trying to sync up live.
Oh, yeah, no, there will be no syncing live. This is much more roundtable than it will be session.
Mhm.
um, what is my dog trying to eat?
Yeah, I don't know if you've watched the Mario's one that I've been sharing the links for, but Caitlin Werbola has been doing this thing where uh, she and Chris host live because they're both in the same apartment. So they'll
Yeah.
play a set and then they'll put in pre-recorded video. So they can kind of like DJ host it a little bit and interact to the comments in real time, but they're streaming it to YouTube. So they have some sort of setup to be able to drop videos in and out, which is beyond my
Yep.
willingness to set up personally.
Yeah.
I massively respect that they've done it, but it's so much work.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like yeah. The only people I've seen doing stuff is or stuff that I've participated in is like the Indianapolis Irish Arts people.
Hmm.
Some of whom you're likely to meet tonight. They've
Phew.
been doing their, um, they have like a Sunday afternoon session,
Mhm.
and so they've been doing that, and so they've been doing it by um, when somebody is playing, everybody else gets muted, and so
Mhm.
you have the choice to play a duet with them by yourself in your own room. But I was also like noticing I've got chat coming in. So friend Randy's like listening for now while eating, but we'll join in a bit later.
Oh, cool.
So, but yeah, so I've been playing with using OBS. Are you familiar with OBS at all as a piece of software?
Yeah, that's what I've been using for Twitch. Yeah.
Yeah. So doing that and sending that stream to Restreamio, and that is sending it out to Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. But yeah. Uh-huh. Anyway.
Yeah, I've got to play with some stuff like that a little bit more.
Yeah. It took me a little bit to figure out, like, OBS has all these settings for what you're capturing. And so
Mhm.
at first I was trying to do. Actually, I don't know. It's weird because it's working now. The first time I tried it, trying to do like a window capture of the Zoom thing, and it wasn't. Oh, that's right. That's what I figured out. I was trying to do a window capture, and it wasn't coming through. It was getting the audio when I would capture the desktop audio, but it wasn't getting the actual screen. It worked when I did it as a display capture, just make it full screen, just capture everything on this monitor. But then I did figure out yesterday, day before, a couple days ago, that there's like when you're doing a window capture, you have like a drop down of a couple options of like method of window capture,
Mhm.
which I imagine has to do with like encoding and stuff. But but yeah, also seeing now how well Restreamio handles bringing in chat and comments from all three platforms.
Oh, cool.
Because like right now, a couple chat messages the stuff I'm seeing from Randy and my friend Travis are all on Facebook.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I caught I'll have to go back because I think it's archived on YouTube maybe, but the Duncairn was streaming everyone doing mini concert stuff from their homes because they were supposed to have some big Irish music festival event. So like
Yeah.
Caitlin Naganin was doing something and a bunch of other people, but she'd kind of posted about it when it was going up live, and I got to go back and like actually listen to the full thing because I think they tried to mark the like time zones for other places, but they marked the US like incorrectly. Yeah. They were off by like an hour or two. And so I like loaded in at the very end of the stream thinking it was the beginning, you know?
Yep.
I was like, oh no. Defeated once again by time and space.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Wibbly wobbly.
Yep.
So how is all going in New York?
It's weird here. It's not hearing them so much right now, but we've got sirens a lot of the days going on. So, and we're also 3 blocks from a fire station, and they're responding to some stuff that the paramedics don't have time for. So like we're hearing a lot more than we usually would because of both of those. Yeah. So we're it's pretty noisy, pretty weird, very empty on the streets.
Yeah, I found it really bizarre. So been getting involved with the 3D printing face shields. Like I got involved with people who were printing them and making them for the VA and Indy, and so one of my coworkers wanted to get involved, and he needed a bigger nozzle for his printer so he could print faster. So I went to drop one off at his house, and he lives in like a very, very, like new, very, very new subdivision. It's like, it is super suburb, like looking neighborhood. And, but I was feeling, I didn't expect it to feel as weird as it did pulling in, and everybody's cars are in their driveways in the middle of the day. And it's like, it like feels like it's like Memorial Day, like just really like multiple cars, every driveway, the entire street. And I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that to feel that weird. Just everybody's home.
It's gonna be really different in suburbia than here, because here it's like no one wants to go outside because there's no way to pass someone with 6 feet of space on the sidewalk in a lot of New York. Like we're out in Brooklyn, so like my roommate had to hand something over to a friend, and he literally made arrangements to like meet the guy on a street corner, leave it on one side of the street, walk away. The guy crossed and came and picked it up. It's like, that's what we're at now. Because you can't leave it on a doorstop. No one has a doorstep. Like
I am lucky enough that like the neighborhood I'm in is this very like interesting, like I'm enjoying Indiana more than I was afraid I might. But the neighborhood we're in, where like we actually have really big wide sidewalks because they were intended to be multi-use for like walking and bike path. And so it's part of like connected system of like bike paths around and stuff like that. And then that like they connect to the bike paths around the Purdue campus and stuff. And so that sort of stuff is nice. And so and it's like there's enough people in the neighborhood that there are people walking around, but it's not crowded. So I don't know. And like since people are home, people are kind of like out walking their dogs more and stuff. And that,
everyone's poor dogs that are like, we don't have the energy for this. Why are you making us do this for the fifth time today?
Actually, I think all our dogs are like happier than they have ever been because we are all home all the time. Like our dog has not been alone
Yeah.
once in at least 3 weeks. You know, like there has never been a moment where there has not been at least one lap somewhere in the house for her to crawl into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little weird here, just in that like one of my roommates went to stay in a friend's place that's empty because they're back with their parents, but my other roommate is here. And the two of us, like, I go out and do music gigs, but the rest of the time I work from home. And my roommate who's staying here works from home full time. And so, like, our day to day is mostly the same. I'm just doing less work because places aren't hiring as much.
Yep.
But, like, as far as when I leave the apartment, like, not that much has changed aside from trying to shove all of my errands into one go when I have to do them at all, just so I'm not out constantly. But, like, it is very strange because in some ways it is very, very similar. And then the moment you have to do anything outside of the house, everything is completely jarringly different. So, yeah. It's also weird because everywhere in our neighborhood is usually open 24/7, and like not the case right now.
No, it's
so.
not. Wish I could remember.
I hear the dog.
Yep.
I found a very funny.
Yep, like since people are frequently walking in front of our house.
Yes.
My dog is like just sits on the couch staring out the window. And being a schnauzer, barking at people is what she does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I wish I could remember what's part of Brooklyn my cousin used to live in. My cousin was in Brooklyn for 12 years. Now he's in last like 2 years he's been in Queens.
Do you know like what he was nearby?
Nothing that I remember the name of. Like I remember what the park looked like.
Prospect Park?
Possibly.
Mm.
But I don't remember. Yeah.
That would be the big one around here that's attached to like the art museum and the botanical garden. So if it was pretty big, that would probably be it.
That would probably be it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not super far from us, actually. Mm-hmm. We're like a 15-minute walk from that or so.
I was realizing like I get to and still enjoy getting to claim the fact that my cousin is the not really a sign guy, but geez. So I found it when I was at his place over Thanksgiving. I stopped by his place on the way, like leaving my parents in Connecticut, and like it was in his apartment, and, like saw the sign. I'm like, oh yeah. Of course, the sign still exists. Let's see. Well, while we, still waiting on people to arrive. Of course, I don't have to like it's not the usual to show at the pub, so I have to expect everyone to figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
It was bad enough because like the session here, like I started the session here, a little less than a year after we moved here. So, actually, no, this first Thursday in April makes it 4 years that we've been doing the session.
Cool.
Because I just always remember it was like, well, we'll start first week April, and so actually my friend Chops and I started the session. Chops has since moved back to Connecticut, but and he actually might make an appearance. Yeah,
I know there's a session scene up there. I've got family up there, but I don't have a car when I'm up there, so I've never actually made it to any of the sessions.
Yeah.
But they're in Cheshire, which is not super far from like New Haven, Waterbury, kind
of. Cheshire's like 2 towns over from where I grew up. I grew up in Derby.
Okay, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, and actually, Chops grew up in Seymour, so that whole area.
Yeah, it's not a big area.
No. Cheshire's not part of the valley, but like Derby, Ansonia, Seymour, Oxford are all Shelton are all part of the valley. which, you know, every area has an area that like everybody else makes fun of. That part of Connecticut, it is
Yeah.
the Naugatuck
Yeah.
River Valley. You know, I remember like when I lived in New Orleans for a couple of years, discovering that like for New Orleanians, it's Chalmette.
Mm-hmm.
And which has led to like the discovery of like still one of my favorite words, which is Chalmatian.
Meaning what?
Just a person from Chalmette. Like, I'd never heard it until one day I was working as a concrete inspector, and I was working with another guy who was like training me, and I remember we had like stopped at a gas station, and there was this, you know, older woman, just this big white beehive hairdo getting out of her car, and he just says, "That is a Chalmatian woman, if ever I have seen one." And I'm like, Chalmatian. That's new.
Uh,
At least to me.
yeah, I don't think we had anything like that where I was from. I think we were just known for racism and murder, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
But we got named the worst crime town in the United States by the FBI, so that kind of will stick forever, I'm sure.
What town is that?
Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh yeah. That's
Yes.
the thing that sounds really weird living in Philly. Was like everybody was freaked out about Wilmington. I'm like, really? Wilmington?
Wilmington is the longest occupation in the United States by military forces since the Civil War. And it's because desegregation went so poorly, they had to come stay there for 17 years.
Yep.
So, like, it's block by block visibly segregated to this day, and it's a mess. And, like, structurally, the whole city is built that way, so everything is just really bad. But so the running joke in Wilmington, because nowadays everyone, it's all like credit card companies and stuff, and everyone leaves at 5 p.m., so there's no one who's actually like there. So the running joke in Wilmington is if you say, "Oh, let's go out for dinner somewhere," they'll say, "Sure, Philadelphia or New Jersey." Where are we driving? We got to cross state lines here. Nothing's open.
Yeah.
Like I was downtown walking distance from like the Amtrak station, and there were maybe 2 places you could walk to that would be open after 5 p.m. on a weekday.
Yeah.
And the only other thing would be like the big hotel that the bigwigs would stay in when they were there for work trips. And that was it. Everything else just shut their doors after lunch rush.
Yeah.
So very weird place.
Yeah. I remember Baton Rouge being like that. Because like, downtown Baton Rouge is, it's big companies and that's it. And so in Baton Rouge, like they kind of like ruined the town by like putting the interstate through the middle of Baton Rouge and elevating it. So like you can't get from one side of town to the other without going across the interstate. And so that causes just like so
Wilmington's built like that over I-95 kind of. Like we definitely have that problem too, where the grocery stores are all kind of on one side of I-95, so it's impossible to get to a grocery store without getting on the highway from anywhere residential. So like even if you're downtown, nothing's accessible. Yeah. Not a great place. There are lots of good things about there, but they don't have to do with how the city is built. So like,
no.
It's just what it is.
There are parts of Wilmington that are certainly really cute. What was that big bookstore that I used to like? There was like a huge used bookstore.
I can't remember what that would be. There's if you're ever going through there, go into the Wilmington Public Library because they have a copy of the marbles from the Parthenon that they'd made before they made it illegal to like actually cast them. So there's a casting done from the original marbles that's like up around the inside of the public library there. So It's pretty cool. Yeah. Also, hello, stranger.
Hello.
Chris, how's it going?
Hey, Ed. Thought I would pop in and see how the action was.
So, kind of hanging out, getting acquainted. waiting for people to show up, which is normal. Show up to session.
Yep.
Sounds like a
People
session.
show up.
Sounds like a session.
Yep.
Certainly sounds like a session in Indiana.
How many people do you usually get?
Let's see. So our session here in Lafayette is usually, or lately it's been 4 or 5 of us. Like,
Well, lately there's been none.
well, for indie. on
Well, yeah.
Saturdays. Well, yes, sure, yeah. Lately there has been none. Yeah, like for a while, like when we first started it was often 15, 18 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so at least it's been nice that like the, you know, there's like the little core group that is almost always there, and then there's a large enough sort of, you know, peripheral group that you know, there's kind of always enough people that like somebody shows up.
Yeah. I have to imagine some people come from like more of a distance there, because I know when I was living in Delaware, like we would drive up to Philly on the weekends for sessions, and that's like a 40-minute drive. So
Yeah.
I haven't made the drive to Lafayette for one of their sessions yet.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, my Tuesday night sessions, it's kind of weird. Indianapolis, are you waving hi? My Tuesday night sessions have been either Golden Ace or mostly the Broadway. Oh, are you getting shy now? Or the Brockway with Carmel, which actually that one's had a pretty good turnout.
Yeah.
The last few times I've gone, you know, it's been. I mean, I've been there when there's only like 3 or 4 people, but there have been other times where there's like 12, 15, 18 people.
nice.
One of the last times I went there, it was like their heat was broken.
Oh god!
And like that corner that we're playing in is all glass, and so we're all freezing. Like the waitress is wearing a parka.
God,
yeah. But yeah.
One of my last gigs was in this bar that has a big skylight in the center of the room, and it was thundering and lightning while we were doing the gig, and it started leaking through the skylight in the middle of the session. And this is a mic'd session, right? So the water is pouring down onto the table that has like the sound equipment on it. So everyone tosses their instruments on the other table and starts grabbing the sound equipment and just like bailing everything out. So it was we went acoustic very quickly.
Yeah.
I think I've been to like a fully electric session like that. That's where was this one at?
I live in New York, so that was one of the Manhattan ones. So
Did you ever go to a bar called the Brass Monkey in New York?
Yeah, I've been there.
That's my cousin's place.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that. That's awesome. Yeah, that session's usually a night that I teach, so I don't make it there very often. But it's a cool spot.
Yeah, I still need to go out and see it. I have the only time I've ever been to New York was through JFK, so you might not even count that as being in New York.
Yeah, well, it's hard to get from JFK to anywhere else, to be fair.
So I wouldn't have gotten far anyway. So you know what? I'll count that. I was in New York then.
Yep.
All right, let's see. John is trying to find his way in.
Cool. Yeah, I live out in Brooklyn, and most of our sessions are in Manhattan or Queens, so everything would be like 30 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on exactly how far it is from me, except for one. And there's one session that's like a 20-minute walk from me. And I swear to God, every time that session happens, it's snowing or hailing or something. And I'm just every time.
Yeah, we had hail last night. Actually, Ed, how are you guys through the storm last night?
What's that? I do not.
Never mind, he's busy.
Headphones off.
Nope. Sorry. Other candles? What do I try and do? I'll click a link in the... And this...
You give her chocolate? Nice. Nice. All right. You can get one.
What was I gonna say? Oh, somebody I used to know in St. Louis is actually asking where in Queens are the good sessions.
Iona's is the good Scottish one, which is out in Queens, and there's the Wolfhound is the other place I'd recommend. Wolfhound Session is great, and they do a yearly festival where they fly people out from Ireland, and they're there for like a week doing gigs. So it was Blackie on the pipes and Siobhan Peoples on the fiddle this year mostly, and they brought like 6 other people with them, and it went until 4 a.m. every night of the week for a solid week, and then I think they all died for a day or two before they flew home. But they do this every year. It's a thing every year, which is great.
Well, that's annoying. So John, Winston, actually, Chris, maybe you can help. John's trying to find his way in,
Yep.
but he has not used Zoom before. And I was realizing that I can, I'm using software that's like gathering the chat from like Facebook comments and YouTube and Twitch, but it only replies to Twitch and YouTube. It doesn't reply to Facebook. I'm like, oh, I can't get to John.
So is he trying to use the link, the Zoom link that you sent out?
Probably.
Or is he trying to join? Or is he trying to join through like the Facebook link?
Well, hopefully he's finding his way to the link that's in the description of the Facebook event.
Hopefully.
But I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can hear us.
All right.
Find your way.
John, if you're listening, on the Facebook event, there should be a link that says zoom.us. Bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
Click that one, and it'll have you download the client, and you just join through that. If you can't, then there's a tiny link below that on the splash page where you can join through the WebRTC. And if you can't hear this, then I just said this into a voice.
Yep. Okay. Did you send the Zoom link? Let's see if I can get myself back to Facebook. There's Facebook. Let's see, where's my event? Travis. Okay, where the hell is he commenting? Because I can't find it. Yeah. He's not commenting on the event. Is he just posting on my personal page? What's he doing? Okay. So he's on the video. That's not what I meant to do. Crap, keeps doing that. Oh, wait, no, that will let me do it. Okay. Spook event description. All right. Hopefully he finds his way in. But meanwhile, somebody. I'll start it on Tunes. Get to show off the gold color plastic flute that I made.
Awesome.
But yeah. Is that leaking?
I'll never know if I was on time for that one or not.
Nope.
That's the beauty of it.
No, so my rock band actually, like when this whole thing first started, we thought we would get clever and have all of us sing an a cappella song together on Zoom live.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
yeah. Ed saw the results. The latency was beautiful.
Yep.
What's funny is we knew it from the very first chorus. Like, okay, this is gonna be bad. Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling.
At this point, it's just a joke. You can't stop it. Yeah.
Hey,
So how's it going, Randy?
Yeah.
good.
Long time no see.
Yeah. We've been playing around with this stuff for a day or two here.
Oh, Randy, were you the test subject?
Yeah, I think we were mutual guinea pigs.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Sorry, Ed. I was kind of in the middle of helping out with something upstairs, so I wasn't able to get to my computer to try out. So I do apologize for that. Anybody sing a song?
Actually, at some point I have to pop off because my daughter and I were going to rehearse something, and she sings, so we might be able to twist her arm and get her to sing something.
Excellent.
You can bring this. You can make it all like one thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rehearse.
live rehearsal. Here.
Actually, it's funny when I was when I was doing the the podcast in the early days of Hangouts, there was so Randy, I was telling you about the woman who would do the Yiddish Tin Pan Alley songs.
Yeah.
Well, one time, and this is like my favorite episodes. If you ever look it up, episode 5, she had friends in town who, like, they all used to live in Chapel Hill, but the rest of them had all dispersed. But they had all been in a gospel group together, so they were practicing. She's usually like, guys, come here, and like, so had a really excellent gospel group singing.
Well,
So, who wants to be up next?
Well, since Randy's short on time, let's have Randy do something.
All right.
Whoever I can get to, let me keep deferring.
All right. Let's see. How about some jigs? Rose and the Heather, and then Banks of Loch Gowna or Shores of Loch Gowna. How's that?
Yeah, I
Great.
enjoy those. Hey.
Awesome stuff.
Cool.
Hey, John Winston.
Hey.
What's going on?
You made it.
Okay, did you get our instructions from the Facebook event, or did you hear me give it over the Facebook feed? We are curious.
Oh, I could hear you just fine, but I had no intention whatsoever of listening.
That sounds like the story of my life.
Well, technology be damned, all right?
Don't say that, man. Technologies keep me employed.
I hear in spite of it. No, I didn't see all the instruction on Facebook is what happened, because however it happened, I ended up looking at all of you without ever seeing the rest of the page.
Mm.
Sorted now, though.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I'm at the far ass end of the internet here where I'm in somehow, for some reason.
Yes.
Felt the same way here since the storm last night. My job is to support video conferencing, and it was hard to do that today because our Wi-Fi was insanely spotty. I kept getting kicked out of the very conferences I was supposed to be supporting.
Kind of like being a plumber with a toilet that
I'll
doesn't
be right
flush.
back. John, say that one more time.
I say kind of like being a plumber with a toilet that doesn't flush.
Well, that's just the story of summer camp.
Hmm.
So are you all right now in Lafayette or West Lafayette, or are you scattered around, or who is where?
I think Ed is the only one in Lafayette.
Yep. Chris is in Indy, and John. So.
I'm over by Butler, and Chris is way out east.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
Right. I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus.
Yes. But my daughter's a Purdue student, and she's not at Purdue right now. She's back home.
So then you have my sympathy on both counts. Hopefully she can get herself to real university someday.
Mm.
But yeah, today is still big celebration day as Tracy defended her dissertation today. So
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. And happy birthday, I believe.
yeah.
There you go. So it's a good return for your birthday.
Say again?
I say it's a good return for your birthday then. You should have bought her a knife though. Would have made that defense much easier.
But yeah, I got a doctor for my birthday.
Nice.
You know, congratulations to you both. So Ed, what's next then? Like, are you two still planning on staying in Lafayette long term?
Yep. She, in addition, just the other day, she like officially signed the offer, like accepting a tenure track position. So she is starting in August. Will be tenure track assistant professor.
Wow.
Dude,
Cool.
that's awesome. Congratulations, man.
What department? What's it?
Aviation technology.
Okay.
So basically teaching aviation maintenance.
Nice.
Chris, you're gonna have to figure out your way to drive up to Lafayette more often.
I know. Well, we did go to Banjo 3. It was like the last night you could go to a concert before they started shutting stuff down.
It was that.
What a way to go out.
Right? No, it was a great show. And Trevor, Kelsey, remember the name of the theater that Banjo 3 was in?
The Long? No. Yeah. It's a Long Theater, isn't it? What's the name of that theater?
Oh, the Long Performance. Was it
Yeah,
Long
yeah.
Performance? Yeah, the Long Performance Arts Center. Yeah, it was a beautiful
Cool.
theater, man. It was really nice.
Cool.
But yeah, so like, I'm all pumped for St. Patrick's Day. This is gonna be awesome, and then all of our shows are wiped from the slate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got hired to do a crazy St. Patrick's Day gig, and I'm sad that I'm missing that. It was in the Harvard Club in Manhattan with this ridiculous ballroom with like a taxidermied elephant shot by Roosevelt on the wall over where I'd be playing. And they were like, yeah, it's a 3-hour gig. We take 2 breaks because we're serving the musicians a multi-course dinner. And I'm like, okay, I'm taking the gig. And then, of course, they called me the day before. They're like, of course, it's canceled. I'm like, great. Hire me next year.
Yeah.
Call me again.
Yeah, the one thing I will say that's been kind of nice is like every venue that we had to cancel with has already asked us to come back next year. So I mean, that takes a little bit of time to work out. Then.
Yeah, places have been really good about it, which is great. And one of our local sessions, we moved to online twice a week, and they're actually paying people to pre-record who would normally be paid to like be a rotating leader guest for the session. So they're keeping that going, which is awesome. So that's
Nice.
something.
Which one
Yeah.
is?
The Mario's session.
Yeah, I've been watching those. Those are great.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm going to be hosting. We have so many people lined up right now. I'll be hosting, I think, May 3rd or 4th or something. So yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah, we had a Southern tour canceled. We were supposed to go down and play Fest, Mississippi right after St. Patty's Day, and then
Hmm.
gigs in Nashville and Southeast Tennessee and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Randy, where are you based out of?
Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
So you know, like Phil and Josh Frank and all that.
Oh yeah, yep. All the lads.
They're good. Yeah, all the lads, yes. I hear they get rather tired during their shows.
Rather drowsy, as a matter of fact.
No, my band played Dayton with them a couple of years ago, and then they came and played Indianapolis a couple of years.
Oh yeah. Josh has one of my Zooks right now, and I've sat in as an honorary lad a number of times with him. So yeah.
Cool.
Isn't Doug Rudy and his band based out of Columbus as well?
Yep. In fact, John Sherman, who was with them, Yankee Called the Consort, is one of my partners in crime. We play. He plays guitar in tenor banjos. We do like bouzouki banjo, bouzouki guitar stuff.
Awesome.
Nice, yeah. Ed from the Kells was actually one of my first quasi Boron mentors when I was really young, and only half as of now.
I play with Eddie every year at the Dublin Fest. Yeah, we have a little pickup band that plays there. So, yeah.
Fun.
Hey. I was just trying to swap out microphones because I was informed that I am the quietest of us all.
You're louder now, so that's good.
Yeah. So swapped out for the large diaphragm.
Louder and clearer, actually. Like, it sounds really good now.
Yeah. So yeah, went to the cheaper but more sensitive microphone. So, Eileen, shall we hear something from you?
Sure. I don't know what sets you guys usually do, I'm realizing.
All of them.
Whatever set the
Anything. Okay.
No.
True. All right. Let's see.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yes.
Was anybody okay? So is anybody else getting a thing where like it sounds like the internet will kind of like slow down and then kind of catch her up and like it feels like?
I wasn't getting it this time, but in the other session we were in the other night, I was getting that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just a result of like your internet will lag behind, but it's also keeping track of the timestamps, so it when it gets those packets.
Chris, they're just trying to make you feel good. It's the Vowron. It's not the internet. It's the effect of Vowron.
I'm not bringing the penknife out, so stop it.
So, John, shall you grace us with something?
Well, that's not fair now, is it?
All right, well, you afflict us with something then.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably much more like... No, there's a bad turn. Try something different. Try something in tune. Sorry. rough false
It's a
start
part-
there.
Better. All right, Chris. Yep. You have
I know,
deferred
I
long
know.
enough.
All right. So I'm playing through my earphone mic. So can you actually?
Yep.
Can you hear that? All right.
Actually, not bad.
Cool. Awesome. Definitely just that one. All right. This is, for some reason I always want to start with this set, and it always gets really sloppy at first because I'm just warming up. So bear with me. Yeah.
Oh, you got a lot of cutting out that's going on there.
Okay.
Um,
Let me try it.
well, hang on. There's some audio settings that help a lot there in Zoom that you might want to try if you haven't before. In fact,
Opening audio settings now.
Yeah, if you audio settings, it's a little little arrow thing there.
Automatically adjust volume.
Yeah, turn that off.
Yep.
And then if you have an advanced tab, go to that.
Or a little advanced button in the lower right, probably.
Yep.
Right.
And then there's the...
Yeah, click the show in meeting option to enable original sound. Click that.
Okay.
And then those first two, disable those first two. So suppress persistent background noise and suppress
disable. And then the intermittent background noise. All right.
Disable that one too. And then leave echo cancellation. You can leave that one on auto.
Well, yeah. We definitely want that, working. All right. Cool. All right. Let's give it another try.
Never hurt Jimmy,
Yeah. Hey, this might. Hey, if this helps, it helps. These are not settings I've had to worry about before in Zoom.
Right.
Once I had to worry about the corporate person being able to show their slides. All right. From the top then.
Yeah. That's much better. It sounded great.
Good. All right, I'll have to keep that in mind because I keep talking about doing like a little stream just for the heck of it, and these settings will be definitely good to keep in mind because my St. Patrick's Day stream was a disaster.
Come on, you were drunk though.
Also true. Also very true. But no, so I did it. I didn't even think about using Zoom into Facebook. I just did like just a straight
Live.
Facebook Live, and it didn't go well.
Interesting.
Oh, was
That
entertaining.
being said, no, John's not wrong. So I was already off for work. But since I didn't have a gig, I went ahead and re-deep it, and said, "Chris, have you been drinking today?" I go, "Not at all."
Oh.
I was reminded of you as I took the 3 empty whiskey bottles to the garbage yesterday.
Okay. All right. Let's see if the gold plastic flute sounds better now. Because I think that first set of tunes I was playing, I think the head joint was leaking. This one has an experiment. Instead of doing like thread winding on the joints, I printed little flexible bands out of TPU and basically used that like instead of cork. The downside is like it stretches a little bit, so it stretches enough to get it like onto the joint, but it doesn't really like compress, and so you have to get the size like very, very exactly right, or it leaks, or you can't get the flute apart because it's so tight. Do the regular solution while Chris was playing. Add more wax.
If it works, it works.
Yep. Nope, probably still leaking. Still don't have a low D.
I mean, it's not like you have 7 other flutes that you.
Yeah, no,
printed
it's not like
in the last 2 months.
I keep showing up. Yeah. This is what I've been doing since January.
I rest my case.
Oh wait, let's. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I took all the thread windings off of some of the joints. So no, I cannot play the pink flute today. Yeah.
Ed, you actually reminded me, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but this has a rubber ring setup.
Ah, yeah.
There's two rubber rings. They're not plastic printed, but they're sized to fit on this
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the slide system. Something like that might work for your flute head. I don't know. This is kind of a weird system that I haven't seen that many other people doing, but it's a Mick Magnus from the guy in Belfast, and it seems to work pretty well. I assume they
Yeah.
wear out eventually.
Yeah,
Like I've had it for a year and a half without any problem. So
yeah, and yeah, those are just rubber O-rings, so they're easy to find in any hardware
yeah,
store.
they're just whatever the precise size is, which then they're very easily replaceable at least.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
like I know was it Carbony? I know like his flutes, those carbon fiber flutes uses O-rings instead of cork and stuff.
Yeah.
What is not usually causing me trouble?
But you can't run neoprene through your 3D printer now, can you?
Nope. Alrighty. So, has your daughter made an appearance yet, Randy?
I will ping her. Hey, Dina.
Looks like Chris fell off the face of the earth.
It does. Although with a small child in the house, that's
It's a
always bound to happen. It's better.
All right, she's on her way.
Oh, sweet. Oh, and Chris is returning.
Okay, so my computer just threw all kinds of fits. So, hi, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Shouldn't be feeding it whiskey, Chris.
I mean, they warned me it would slow it down and it would get less, it would get more belligerent and less articulate.
Roll on. So this is Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Hey.
She's normally in your neighborhood, but she's not.
Yep.
now.
Never quite seems to make it on a Thursday night.
I can't contribute.
Can you sit, drink, and enjoy music?
Yeah.
Then you can contribute.
And we never have enough singers.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, is that so?
Yep.
I mean, they never let me.
Smile and a laugh is always welcome, but singing even more.
All right, so we'll just belt one out here, totally
Oh.
unrehearsed and all that sort of thing. All right. Okay, here we go.
Come on, you lads of high renown, that would hear a very young maiden as she roved out in the summer's day. For to view the soldiers parading, they marched so fine and they looked so gay. The colors flying in the pants to play, and it caused young Mary Ford to say, "Oh, when the gallant soldier."
With the locals.
She viewed the soldiers on parade, and as they stood at their leisure, young Maggie to herself did say, "At last I found my treasure, but oh how cruel words of thee to banish my darlings far from me. I'll leave them all in a home like thee, wild and daunting soldier. Oh, Mary dear, your parents' love, I pray don't be unhappy, for when you're in a foreign land, they'll leave me alone surely. If in battle like my fall, by a shameful and angry cannonball, and you so far from me that she's all behind my gallant soldiers. I have 50 guineas in bright gold, likewise a heart that's bolder. And I'll leave you all and I'll go with you, you wild and daunting soldier. So don't say no, but let me go, and I will face the daring foe, and we'll march together to and fro, like your gallant soldier. And when he saw her loyalty and Mary's so true hearted, he said, "Me darling, it will be, and nothing else will hurt us. No wonder in a foreign land, oh Lord, darling, with my right hand, and hopes that God might send a friend, Mary and her gallant soldier."
Awesome.
How did that sound?
Very nice. Really good.
Good.
Don't let her get away.
She might pop back in.
I just string her on her ankle. Feed her some whiskey.
Oh. Oh. So who wants to be up?
Whose turn is it?
Dead silence.
Yep.
I can start one if you guys promise to judge, because these are both reels. I'm not amazing. Yeah.
All
I
right.
think this is a judgment-free zone.
Yep.
I didn't see any Planet Fitness signs anywhere. It's a terrible joke, and I apologize. I blame the Tullamore.
Can't blame poor innocent whiskey, Chris.
You can blame the whiskey for pretty much.
Pretty much.
The adorable little baby you saw earlier, I blame on the whiskey. All right, so am I doing this or Eileen? Me? Okay. John? Okay, screw you guys. All right. The audio settings should be the same even after I reset my computer. So if not, I'll just let me know and I'll go back into it. All right. Ah. I thought it was gonna be smooth as that slow down, and that was the biggest fuck up. So
No, that's great.
Nice.
thanks.
Good set.
Yeah, like Toss of Feathers is one I have played for a long time, but I've only like just recently been trying to figure it out on flute. And
Dave
it's-
did teach me. I guess there's an E version of Toss of Feathers as well, and I think Dave and I have worked on it before, but I can't even remember the melody,
yeah,
let
and
alone how to play it.
there's a couple versions. I mean, there's a couple tunes that are Toss the Feathers. There's one that's it's actually really, the A part is kind of similar to Drowsy Maggie, and stuff like that. On I'm trying to think, it's on Kevin Burke's album. I don't know if it's Sweeney's Dream or Up Close, one of his older albums. He does just all of the versions of Toss the Feathers in one big set.
And is the album itself called Toss the Feathers?
No, it's either Up Close or Sweeney's Dream. I think it's
Yeah,
Up Close.
it's Sweeney's Dream, actually, yeah.
Is it Sweeney's Dream? Yeah.
I think.
Alrighty. Who wants to be up next?
There. I go. That's enough of that.
That was good enough to make my daughter want to jam with us for a bit.
Or she's baiting away trying to drown out the noise.
I mean, she was in rhythm for it, you know, as much in rhythm as the 15-month-old.
Yeah, why not? I haven't done enough songs lately. Of Kildare, a farmer I was till the last year when I took a notion of a promotion. Went over to England to harvest the share. From to a la, rum to a lally, rum to a la, bisha, rum to a lie. I thought it went only so blithe and so jolly. I took up a step or a step in my head. Keep myself cheery, won't fear I get weary. I somebody work, so I went on my way. Rum to a la, rum to a lie, rum to a la, musha, rum to a lie. I wandered in Botany on a fine summer's evening, my bundle and stuff and them in my hands. There was some of them laughing and some of them chaffing, more of them trying to stick Betty away. Rum to a la, rum to a lally, rum to a la, musha, rum to a lie. lunch and she said, young man, don't look so dull, for I will tell you where you will find lodgings. The woman who lives next door to the Black Bone. Run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah. So I went to that woman and I asked her for lunch, and she said, with the sun in the room. And I've been so tired and worn out from walking, I threw myself down in the bed in the room. Run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah. He lay on the floor like a sheep, he was Bruce. There was a lump of a tinker laying up in the corner. He bore his soul that he'd kill all was there. Says I'm a bull tinker, lay over here bragging, for I'm old McShane from the plains of Kildare. Run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah. He tried but to hit me a punch in the stomach. I instantly fetched him a one in the throat. He tumbled heels over his head in the corner and lay on his head in an old rusty pot. Run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah. He lay on the floor like a sheep, he was bleeding. I swore by my soul that I'd cut off his life. I lifted him up and I called down to Megan, and me and the tinker, we ended the strife. Run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah. Run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah, run to Allah.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
That is a fun one.
That is.
There was one that we did right before the first Night Irish show. I guess the only Night Irish show.
Yeah.
It was called Blacksmith. It was
Yeah,
like really,
Blacksmith.
it was like really fast, and it had the one like kind of syncopated note that was just awesome.
Yeah.
We should do that one again sometime soon.
Indeed. It's like, yeah, that whole recording thing kind of put on hold because we don't want to be like breathing on the same mics.
I mean, it reinforces the case for dubbing and just everyone just going on their own.
Yep. Everybody bring in their own, what's the word I'm looking for?
Lava.
No, the pop filters. Just do not go beyond the
so we
pop
don't
filter.
bring. Yeah, so our flavors kept on that pop filter on that pop. Yeah. Good call.
Eileen, looks like you're ready to fiddle.
Yeah, sure. Let me think, though. My upstairs neighbors are going to love me by the time this quarantine's over. But you know what? I can hear them rearranging their furniture, which they were doing for like 5 hours today, so they can deal with me doing this tonight.
Yep.
Let's see. This is a set that I lovingly stole from Michael McGoldrick.
Thank you.
Nice.
That was awesome. I know. I've heard that first jig before. What is the name of that first jig that you did?
Sean the Mac Station.
Sean the Mac Station. Yes.
Yeah, John Carty.
Yeah. And the last one gets played, that's transcribed into a different key because Michael McGoldrick does a lot of his performance stuff on an F flute instead of a D flute. So the last one is usually played in a different key. But I learned that set from him, so I only ever learned it in F, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's nice in F, so...
Yeah. Who hasn't been up in a while?
I can.
You actually.
I need to bug out and work with Tina for a bit.
Alrighty.
Let's see. Okay.
Yep. You just muted yourself, Randy.
I managed to mute myself.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
I was almost able to keep up with that. Awesome.
Yay.
That was great. What's the name of that last one?
It's either called Cool Ada or something like that. You can get it. Or the T Song, I guess, is another name that I've heard a couple of.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard like 5 or 6 different names for it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's one of those. Yeah, cool.
Great. Well, lovely guys.
All right. Well, you have a good evening.
Thanks. You too.
Nice jamming with you virtually.
First.
Yeah, nice playing with you.
Yeah. Nice. All right. See ya.
Oh. Haven't heard much out of you, John, lately.
I actually did need to step away for a second. This little girl needs to go to bed, so
Okay.
I need to help make that happen. So I'll just keep my feet up, and I will be back when my part of that is done.
Alrighty.
Bring me a glass of whiskey on your way back, would you?
I can't drive right now, man. It's not an essential service.
Actually, like one of my friends in St. Louis, is a bartender, but these days he's I think he's probably doing it through Uber or whatever, but doing delivery stuff. And so he's like, what did he put on Facebook? Booze Postman of the Apocalypse is now my job title.
That is a title you should never let go of.
Make some
And friends
business
from St. Louis,
cards.
if you're on Facebook right now listening to this, don't ever let go of that title. I don't care if it's decades after this is all over. You hold on to that.
It's been earned.
All right, be back
That's
at you guys.
great.
Oh yeah, here. And let's try those hornpipes again and see if I can not get lost this time. You guys don't like hornpipes?
I love hornpipes. I don't know enough of them though, and I feel like the ones I know are all weird.
That's because all of them are weird.
That's true. Most of them are weird.
Yeah.
Reels that couldn't survive out in the world.
Oh. Let's see. Slip jigs, I think. Haven't done any of those yet.
I haven't thought of those in a long time. That was nice.
Yeah, I love that middle tune, and people don't play it enough.
Hmm.
Kind of fell out of fashion.
Was it Deborah the Dancer?
Yeah.
Hmm.
A couple of my friends out of Philly recorded it recently, and it kind of reminded me. I just hadn't played it for like 10 years, so trying to pull it out again.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. Still having trouble saying.
Cool stuff.
That was good. That was very
Yeah,
nice. I think I sat down like right as you were getting into it, so it's like perfect timing on my part.
Yeah. Oh.
Whose turn is it?
Yeah, probably yours.
You bastard.
You made the mistake of asking.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Oh. Trying to remember. There's a legal term for like, what is it? Basically for like a delaying the crap. What's it called?
Trying to remember abeyance.
No. Delaying the like the end of the statute of limitations.
I think you just call that the statute of limitations.
Well, no. There's a term for delaying.
Yeah.
Like, if there's some like reason that like this should have been on hold, like there was something that prevented somebody from,
Right.
charging somebody with something like, bugs me. But anyway, you don't get that for being away.
All right. Fair enough. Jerk. All right. Get your banjo out. All right. Brenda Stubbers going into Glasgow. Although, Ed, do you want to take your usual tune in the middle of that, which name escapes me right now? Your mic's off.
Unfortunately, let's see. Oh, nope.
I'll take that as
two things to mute because I like was realizing that like the broadcast going out to everybody else isn't getting my mic through the Zoom meeting. They're getting it directly from my mic.
Gotcha. Weird.
Because it's recording the computer audio and Zoom isn't playing my audio back to me. So I'm like,
Sure.
So I was like trying things like, well, I can turn down the preamp, but that doesn't actually turn my mic all the way off. I can turn off the phantom power. That's gonna make a big click every time I do that. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Ooh, I can turn it off over here.
I learned that at Indie Irish Fest a couple years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, trying to take Master Colleagues in the middle will be a challenge if we have to stop and unmute everything.
You know, a good point. Yeah, we'll just go straight into Glasgow then, and hope I don't screw it up too much.
Yeah.
All right. Brenda Stubbers going into Glasgow, y'all.
Yeah.
I have been, well, before everything happened, I was jamming with a group that would kind of make it 3 tunes where we would do Brenda, Glasgow, and D minor, and then twice through we would do Glasgow and A minor instead.
Yeah, that is a common thing I have seen do. Actually, the way I ended up with
Damn it!
yeah,
we were being original.
no, somebody copied that from somebody else. Probably.
Who probably copied that from someone else, who probably copied that from someone else, and so on and so on.
Well, no, they very probably copied it. There's a mandolin player that I learned it from. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but yeah, the reason the set that I have always played was Mason's Apron, Tam Lin, and Master Crowley's. It's killing me. I can't remember his name. But he would play Mason's Apron, Tam Lin, and then a tune that he wrote called the Banjo Reel. And he would do the play Tam Lin in both keys. And I had the idea, after playing them in both keys, it actually was fun to go from like D minor to A minor, and then back down to E minor for Master Crowley's.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that gets done in different keys here too. So I think that's pretty universal. Probably like someone must have recorded it at some point, and everyone else is like, I think I have this great idea that I've maybe heard once before. And meanwhile, we're all like back to the one same source.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, who cares to be next?
I can do another set if you want.
Alright.
I think I'm going to have to tap out pretty soon, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a reasonable time to do things.
Yeah, mostly because I'm in an apartment and not a house, and so I don't want to bother my neighbors indefinitely here.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not super loud with the fiddle, but I'm sure they can still hear me more than you would in a suburban area. So
It's probably a welcome sound anymore, I would imagine.
I don't know. We're kind of tin can packed
Although
in here,
New
so
Yorkers are not known to be the friendliest people.
that's the thing. Like, I try to not practice after like 6 p.m. normally, because normally I'm playing at home during the day when people are at work. So now I'm like, what's the rule now? Because are you in like a conference call upstairs? So mostly I'm just trying to vary the times of day that I do it. So it's not like every week on Monday at 4 p.m. when I'm in a meeting with my boss, this motherfucker in my building. Like, I just don't want to be that person, right? I figure as long as I'm not that asshole, I'm probably fine.
Be that.
I think I will do one more, and then we can say goodnight for the evening.
Sounds good.
And some of us still have to go to work.
Yep.
I am at work. This is my work desk.
Yes. As am I.
And it's definitely not a card table that I had to set up because my wife annexed my home office.
I owe the government 40 pages of fiction tomorrow morning, and I've only got 3 of them written.
Well, get going, Mark Twain.
Let's see.
Might have to consume another bottle of whiskey tonight.
That has nothing to do with your work. I just think you just want to consume another bottle. And I can't blame you.
But fiction just comes easier with lubrication.
Let's see.
Well, that was fun.
It was.
Thanks for
That
organizing
was
this
cool.
and figuring out
I've got
Zoom.
some kind of session going. And
Yeah.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
finally got to take part in the Lafayette session.
Sort of.
Figuring out my internet after the storm.
Yeah. Ugh. Just like I didn't think the storm had hit us terribly bad today until I went outside because I'm like, no, it didn't look like it rained at all. And then like I had to go to CVS to pick up a prescription, and then I'm driving home and I'm like, oh, there are a lot of tree limbs in the road. And then what was it? One of the guys I work with, who I think lives a little south of Indy, was saying that like, yeah, he had 3 trees in his yard fell in 5 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, south of
Yeah,
town.
there's a guitar player.
Yeah.
One of the guitar players from my rock band had a tree fall on his power line right outside his daughter's room, and apparently
Oh,
it was on there long enough that the power kept going, so the tree caught on fire.
Yeesh.
oh no.
That is going to traumatize the poor child.
They've had a pretty rough go at it. They had a pretty rough go at it, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, like, yeah, they own a coffee shop, you know, a small little coffee shop. So obviously, right now, business isn't exactly booming, but they do sell coffee online at strangebrewcoffee.com.
Oh,
If you want to order yourself a
yeah.
bag. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then, yeah, you know, and just everything else on top of that. So yeah, and then they have a tree catch on fire right outside their.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Not great.
All right. Well, it's been lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Nice playing with all of you guys.
Yeah.
And
Keep
meeting
well.
You too.
Yeah.
See you all next week. Ed,
Yeah.
are you going to make this a regular thing during this?
I am gonna give that a shot. Yeah. Why not?
Might
For the
have to
duration of
Robin.
pandemonium.
Yeah, I'm like, my
I
entire
have a
social
friend
life is
at a
revolved around
Wexford
sitting around a
who
pub
might be
table every Thursday night for the
There
last
you go.
4 years, and that has stopped.
I have a friend from Wexford who I might talk into coming in. He's been doing some like solo live streams on Sundays, so
Yeah.
I might talk him into coming in and sitting with us and singing some songs.
Excellent.
All
Used
right.
for a fun pandemonium.
Yep.
There's no better way to go.
Have a good night. Keep well.
You too.
Good night, guys.
Where's there?